Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about the breeding system in Palworld and how you can use it to strengthen some of your rare pals. Now, there are going to be a few prerequisites in order to interact with the breeding system present within the game. You will have to have unlocked egg incubators, the breeding farm, the mill that allows you to turn wheat into flour, and you'll have to have a few other items as well. I'm not going to spend too much time going over where to find every single drop. The Pal Dex has that information for you if you've been catching pals, but a few items of note that you're going to need include honey, which can be found by defeating the bee pals. There's two different kinds, as well as milk, which can be obtained from the cow pal, and eggs from the chicken pal. All of this stuff is pretty self-explanatory. Now, I like to have my base automated, so my pals will grow wheat for me that I can then turn into flour in the mill, and then I have a bunch of the aforementioned pals grazing, so they'll drop the items I mentioned earlier. Anyways, the reason I'm talking about flour and all these ingredients is because you're actually going to have to be able to bake a cake in order to get the monsters to breed. I don't know why they need cake, but that's just how it is. If you have the cooking pot, you can see the cake as one of the available items to create, so get cooking. If you guys want a step-by-step guide on how to make cake, I do think it's pretty simple, but then again, I've put dozens of hours into this game at this point, so I might have a skewed perspective on that. Anyways, the most important and pressing thing is that you're going to need to be able to create pals by assigning two opposite gender pals to the breeding farm just by throwing them in and throwing some cake in the box that comes with the farm. The cake will not expire or change its timer as long as it's in here, so you can actually use this as storage if you're planning on stockpiling cake or something like that. After some time has passed, they will produce an egg. You could check to make sure at this icon if the actual thing is turning. That way you know everything is going well. Now, I've definitely got to do a lot more experimenting with this. However, there are obviously crossbreed combinations that exist. You've seen monsters in the wild, most likely. They usually have two words in their names and generally just look like a cross between two pals. However, while this crossbreeding system is definitely interesting, I found an even more interesting utility for this, and this has to do with pal condensing. Now, we've mentioned the pal condenser a couple times on the channel so far, but essentially what it does is it allows you to take a bunch of pals of the same species and condense them to make a base pal stronger. This is great, but some pals are really rare and hard to capture. Sure, getting 4 of the same pal might not be too crazy, but when you get to the next one, it's 16, then it's 32, etc. And I don't know about you, catching 32 Suzaku is a lot. So instead, I've created a situation where I've got a ton of incubators set up. I've got a base specifically dedicated to this with wheat farms for wheat, berry farms for berry, grazing animals for eggs, milk, and still working on getting more bees for honey, but you get the point. You can continue to breed two pals of the same species together to consistently get its offspring and then sacrifice its offspring in order to strengthen the original. Nothing quite like sacrificing your children in order to boost yourself. But yeah, other than that, you can actually breed different pals to get completely different species. I need to do a lot more experimentation with this, but you could breed 2 random pals and then get a random pal of another type, and it's kind of crazy. But for the purpose of this video, this will allow you to much more easily strengthen your pals without having to go and spend a million pal spheres trying to catch them over and over again. There's also nothing stopping you from building multiple breeding farms like I did, so you can have different pals doing different things at the same time. It's honestly up to you how far you want to go with it. Whichever way you slice it, the breeding system's definitely going to need a lot more research, and since I'm putting this together before the video is actually live for everyone, I'm sure when the video goes up, there's going to be a ton of new strategies, and I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. If you want some more Palworld content and you want somebody who's going to continually cover the game, even past this period where it's popular to do so, definitely subscribe to the channel. We've been following development for over 2 years at this point, and I'm going to be following it right through into full access and beyond. Just wanted to say special thanks to my supporters as well, especially Jim Hamilton, Dro Ghost, Candy Marunci, and Tragsoft, and we'll see you next time. Peace.